You're listening to the DownShift podcast, taking you trackside for all things motorsport. We're four mates from Melbourne breaking down the races, the drama, and everything in between, all with a little banter and a lot of passion. If you love motorsport and cars as much as we do, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you're always on the grid with us. And if you really want to join the team, leave us a 5-star review and support the show through Patreon for exclusive content and bonus perks. So it's lights out, drop the clutch, and let's get racing. Hello and welcome to the Downshift as four mates from Australia review motorsport from all around the globe, feeding our passion for the love of fast cars and drama on and off the track. Today we're going to do a review of the F175 livery review at the O2 Arena, have a look at the Constructors Championship and what our predictions are for it, and then also look at some bold predictions that the four of us are going to make. We'll judge as to whether or not we think we're on or off in regards to those predictions. But starting with the F175 livery review, Dan, you and I got together to watch this one live. Would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, why not? This probably suits me quite well because being relatively new to watching Formula One and getting involved in it from a spectator point of view, I guess. So as the F175 was new to everyone, something different. And actually, look, all in all, I thought it was not bad watching. Like, I didn't sort of get halfway through going, oh, this is so boring. It was actually, stuff going on. The guy that was hosting it, whose name I can't remember right now, was
Jack Whitehall.
Jack Whitehall. He was okay.
Did a
He
good
was, tried to crack a few jokes here and a bunch of car people that probably don't like jokes being made about them. So
He did well.
I think he did all right. So
it wasn't Ricky Gervais level, but I thought he actually did a pretty good job of keeping it light-hearted, and he knew his stuff too. He knew the topic, which was good.
yeah, until he asked, and again, I don't know my commentator, but he asked a lady about the boot size in the Formula One cars, and that was a bit stonewall there. But
Yeah, that went down like
Anyway.
a lead balloon.
yeah, she wasn't having any of that. She's like, yeah, no, we don't do that, Jack. We don't talk about silly things like that in Formula One. Why would we?
But credit where credit's due is that, F1 really let him basically do whatever he wanted. So, the script was obviously reviewed beforehand and they've gone, yep, go for it. Having a go at the FIA with the swearing ban and just even having a bit of a go with Max at the very start, calling out that he just didn't want to be there.
You had that
interesting.
feeling, didn't you? I think there's probably a few drivers that didn't want to be
Given
there.
that Max said that he didn't want to be there.
Oh, he actually said it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And look, probably for Jack, it was Jack Whitehall. It's probably good that because it was the first F1 event like this, there was nothing to compare it to. There was no. You probably, well, I mean, you could have got it really wrong, but you were never going to be, oh, the guy last year did a really good job of it, or let's get him back again. And they may not do it again next year, or even for another 5 years, perhaps. Maybe it's depending on how it goes, whether they do it every year or, more anniversarial, like 80 and 85 or something like that. But yeah, no, it was.
Ferrari doesn't need it for
thought-
the next couple because they've got HP locked in for the next 3 years, so they'll be okay for a couple of years.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was very in your face, especially when the big screen that was around the stage and all the I'm assuming the LEDs or TV screens, whatever it was, but like as soon as that lowered down to the Ferrari, it was right. It was, I think the HP logo was nearly bigger than the Ferrari logo. It was really there.
So what did you think of the whole event? Because this was really the first time in F1's history that all the teams were sort of united and did a livery reveal at the same time. So that's never been done before, and it looked like they were all given a fair bit of freedom on how they did their reveals and what it looked like, and some obviously put a bit more effort in than others or had a different idea about it. So what did you think of the actual event itself? Was it a good idea or not?
I think it was probably a good idea. Like, I don't know how they normally do their livery reveals. Like, I think didn't Williams do theirs last week? Not last week, but the week before the F175. But they just released the last car, and I think the F1 told them they couldn't release their liveries yet anyway, which is why I think McLaren did the camouflage one again
exactly.
before, because they weren't allowed by F1 to do the big reveal. I mean, the deliveries change quite often, I'm led to believe. Like, they're not, one doesn't see you through the whole season. Like, they change. It depends on, how they feel or how much weight they want to save on paint. And then, so
I think Alpine was almost complete carbon fibre by the end of the season.
Trying to get down under the weight limit, yeah. I mean, to be in the past, teams would do their own event, maybe, and sometimes they would do like a live stream or something like that, and other teams would literally roll the car out at testing, because it's not really in the interest of the teams to roll out their new spec car too early, because they definitely don't want to give anything away into what they've put into the car. If they change the suspension, what does the aero look like? And so they'll roll them out like you would have seen in the livery event with very basic wings. That's not the car you will actually see on track at testing. So the teams tend to try and leave it pretty late anyway. But yeah, I thought it was a really good idea. Like, I can see why they did it, to try and get more people to be interested in it. And it's the start of the season, and maybe show a bit more personality from the teams and what they're all about, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and
there's probably
it was the 2024 car, and so you're not seeing the new car, you're seeing the livery. To your point, Nathan, I mean, how did the teams do? If there was a brief, and some teams did really well, but some teams just totally missed the mark at the same time. So, there's some cringeworthy
the DJ
moments.
The DJ went for a bit long.
Yeah, and that was a real miss.
And
because
that was meaningless.
It looked as though it was part of Alpine's reveal, but it actually wasn't. It was actually part of the musical entertainment, and it was actually Brian Tyler, who is the producer of the F1 theme. So, for the F1 theme that we're also used to, and that everyone, you hear throughout the season, he produced that. But for people who have no idea who he was, and I had no idea myself, it's like, who's this guy indulging himself on stage, jumping around? This is very Alpine.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was. I know the F1 theme. It's a banging theme. Like, it's a great tune, but like, I wouldn't know who created it. So yeah, that was a bit weird, but it was good to see.
It's a spectacle.
Sorry?
Yeah.
The spectacle of it, I was about to say, was like, it was big, it was bold. Like, Ferrari was the one that I saw from end to end, which I thought was really well done. Rumours were Red Bull spent nearly £800,000 doing their launch. So some of the teams spent a lot of money doing this and doing it well. So yeah, it was a pretty big spectacle.
Yeah, the stage, the big screen, the light show, it was all pretty good. It was a good watch. It wasn't boring. I don't know what if you like to actually have been there, because you'd be, sitting around for a bit and having your meal and drinks and everything, but it doesn't matter. There's probably a lot of fans that got there and were rapt to be seeing their fans, and get Alonso and Stroll to walk through the back of the crowd onto stage as well.
Was there a lot of fans there, or was it all corporate seats?
15,000 people there, apparently. So, I mean, obviously all the front row were corporates and comped tickets, but like, a lot of people turned up for the event. So 15,000 is a pretty decent crowd.
They didn't show a lot of the crowd proper. You could see the tables next to the stage, but beyond that, you just saw snippets of, a few people right at the front of the barrier sort of cheering on people, and different, different coloured shirts and stuff. So, yeah.
It's interesting, Happy, you say how much Red Bull spent on their actual reveal. And I've got to say, for me, that was one of the biggest cringe moments of the night. A Christian Horner coming out on stage to just a cacophony of booing. He loves it. He loves being the villain. He's getting there. He just laps it up and goes, "Yep, okay, bring it on, everyone." And here we go. But the amount of money that they spend on that as well is now, look, it's been a long time for me since I've been in the underworld of illegal street racing. But for Red Bull, I thought that was the biggest miss of the evening. I just did not understand it. Obviously, there's a demographic which I just don't get, and they're trying to hit that, which doesn't even align with F1.
I heard a comment that they were trying to appeal to the everyman sort of thing, and yeah, that was a real eclectic mix of. I mean, look, good on them, but just even when they were all walking out together with the car, and Verstappen and the other guy was in front of him, Lawson, no?
Liam.
Anyway,
yeah.
The other guy.
Yep. Well
Yeah,
done.
they
Well
got it.
done, Swag.
walking
You're
out in
learning.
front of the car, and they're all sort of being chased, not chased, but these guys are dancing all behind them, and yeah,
Hopping
it
and
was-
locking.
There was a big eclectic crowd of people behind them. That was confusing to me as well. I was like,
Yeah.
what are these people doing here? Like,
yeah. What's
just
what's
show me
the
the
message
car.
here?
I don't care.
Oh
Oh,
no,
like yeah, go Christian.
And that's where, I mean, with also the racing bulls, the intro spending, so much time with obviously people who were positioned talking about the Visa Cash App racing bulls. Yeah. Again,
They've
it was
clearly got an
really just taking
identity
the mickey out of
crisis.
themselves.
no, look, it was good like that because they did. They just take a bit of the piss, and that's probably good for the fans to know they're an approachable kind of team. Whether they, might sell a bit more merch, but anyway.
It's also more exposure for sponsors. At the end of the day, we know that sponsors are paying some pretty big money these days to get on the cars. We saw that with Ferrari. You mentioned the Ferrari HP, I think at the start. So like I was really surprised when at the start of the Ferrari reveal, they had the Ferrari logo and right next to it, same size, was HP. Like that's not something I really remember seeing before. So HP's alleged, $90 million a year sponsorship is obviously buying them, a lot of real estate. Yeah. And the car was interesting too, as you saw.
Yeah, it's
I
a
like
lot
how
of
they
printers
did
to be
the,
sold through that.
And they did the sort of the cartoon style of the cars through the history. It was quite.
Yeah.
It was quite nice. It was a bit playful, and they kind of did they merge the images a bit, or they kind
Yeah.
of blended, or I can't remember exactly how it was.
But that's Ferrari. It's all about pedigree, history, Ferrari. I
Well,
think they captured the essence of Ferrari, really well. But the livery was interesting with the big white HP stripe, very, very noticeable. But I mean, all the sponsors who pay big money this is just another avenue for them to get their brand out. So all the primary sponsors especially would have been very keen for this event to happen.
If you look at too the amount of extra traction that HP got, good, bad, or otherwise, on the socials afterwards for the next couple of days, that was all people were talking about. It's supposed to be a red car. All of a sudden, there's this HP logo attached to it, and there's not a red car anymore.
Yep. But look at the crowd. Look at the reaction when Lewis Hamilton got introduced. Like that was a huge reaction. Like Leclerc's popular, but I think Lewis, especially it was at the O2 Arena. It's a British crowd. Let's be honest, they're going to like it. But he's a very popular driver. He's gone to Ferrari. HP's gone. Yep, we're going to chuck in some big dollars here and get the most out of it. So it looked pretty good. I didn't mind the livery at all. So, but I think my favourite livery, if we want to talk about liveries, was the Visa Cash App racing ball car. I thought that was a nice change. It was bright. It looks really cool. Keen to see it on track. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, a lot of the cars are going dark.
My favourite one, colour-wise, has to be Sauber.
The Sauber?
Yeah, it always stands out, the green.
I'm not thinking they're going to do any better in it, but it's still, in terms of a car looking on a track, that'd be my favourite looking one.
Well, at least it was consistent.
Same with the Red Bull. They've just kept it very consistent.
Look, if you were the designer for Sauber or Red Bull, you'd whack that on the table and go, there you go. Oh, yeah, that looks fantastic.
Pretty easy money, let's be honest.
I reckon Aston Green's nice job too.
Aston was good. Yeah. Did you like the whole the 007 Aston Martin sort of thing?
I cringed a little bit just because it was like, but yeah, sure. But Aston Martin's history isn't necessarily in Bond. It's probably more in pedigree racing or, older style cars that they've got. But they paid a lot of money for that too, for the rights to use that the tune and the imagery from that. So it was a bit sort of, for me, it was a bit wanky. They both came out like they're 007 or Bond sort of agents. It's like meh. But
I don't know if you saw the meme with Lance Stroll. It says Lance Stroll, 0 podiums, 0 finishes, 7 DNFs.
Poor bastard. He's on the wrong end of those, isn't he?
Sometimes well-deserved, though. Let's not, beat around the bush there.
But I think I'd have to nominate my favourite part of the evening was when they showed Yuki Tsunoda turning up in a Honda S2000, and he cruised up, decided to do a donut, and then pulled up again. Good on you, Yuki.
Yeah.
Well done. Well
So
done.
on brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Bit of a rebel. I
To
like
be
it.
fair, those cars are fun to drive, and they're very light in the back, so you can
They are
light those
fantastic
tyres up.
fun. I had
Great
one of
car.
those for a week at one point. It was a great little car.
Because everyone's turning up in their Ferraris and their...
I did like to, I don't know whether it was scripted or not, when Gordon Ramsay was interviewed by Jack, he pretty much nailed it. Just let the drivers be drivers and let them do their job as professionals and be themselves,
But to be
regardless.
fair, Jack was really pushing him to drop an F-bomb in there too, and he held back. So
waiting for it. You
behaved
think,
himself. Yeah. And look, overall, I think the whole night was pretty much flawless. You know, the production did a great job. There's only a couple of slight misses. You know, as McLaren came out as the world champions, being the last to reveal, it gave them the opportunity to put all the cars on the stage. But then you had the Champions Trophy, and as the camera's sitting there with Zach Brown blocked by the trophy, so you're seeing the trophy here, and Zach's talking, and it's like move. But yeah, so and then of course Andreas, he was giving us sort of a bit of a arm around the shoulder, saying it's okay. We haven't really done anything with the car, but technically we've done a lot of work behind the scenes. So I think that was him just sort of preparing us all for the fact that nothing's changed.
Well, every car's an iteration, but yep, keen to see him roll out in testing. That'll be good.
Yep, no, absolutely. Anything that you do differently, guys?
I'd take the egg yolks out of the breakfast. And I think you need to know that for next time. Like if it's not next year, if it's in 5 years' time, you just put that in your calendar to make sure you.
So
whites
boys, you
only.
missed out on a full grill. We had bacon, eggs, sausages, and of course cooked it for the whole family because they all decided to watch as the kids were getting ready for school. And Aston comes out going, "Hang on," just looked at it with this disgusting look on his face. I didn't take the egg yolks out of his eggs, so.
why would you do that in the first place?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
No
it's
comment.
his special gym diet.
All right. Okay.
The egg white omelette.
Oh, he is 5 kilos dripping wet, so he probably needs
Yes.
that bulk up. So yeah,
It's probably too much yellow, like from the papaya in his green. He's worried about that getting on his green Aston Martin shirt. So
He's Aston through and through,
Spoiling
isn't he? Yeah.
yeah, fair enough too.
Yeah.
Yep.
And look, the only thing for me, and look, I appreciate that the F1 was trying to create this as a big hurrah and appeal to a different demographic to bring more people into F1. But for the F1 traditionalists, I really think they probably should just have done a little bit more with the drivers, even if it was a profile or just giving them a little bit more showtime. Because literally, as you see them come out, it was a give me 2 words or no, just it was hi, thanks, great to be here. Doesn't the car look great? Good night. And it just didn't give a lot of profile to the drivers.
It was very much a team focus. What did you think of the booing and the crowd reaction? I know the FIA later on came out and said that they were disappointed with some of the live crowd reaction. What did you guys think? Do you think it's a good thing, a bad thing? What's the story?
Okay, to be fair,
never
we're
a fan of-
Australians, so we boo anyone and everyone, and sometimes it's nothing personal. It's just because we just don't like you, and if that's the case, it's all part of our sport. So to me, I didn't take offence at that at all. And given the fact they've done it in England, and England have some of the best negative chants for their soccer teams and cricket teams, I don't think, unless they're going to change the country on that you'll be able to change that in a hurry.
I agree. I think English fans are fickle at the best of times, and if you get on the wrong side of them, or then especially if the news gets on the wrong side of you, you're in trouble. But like Christian Horner wasn't a great reaction. He's British. It sort of surprised me a little bit, but I guess there was a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on with Christian last year, so that could have influenced it too.
Oh, as I said, I think he loves to be the villain, so I reckon he was just slapping that up. It's like, yeah, bring it on. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm never a fan of the booing, but if it's a sport or anything, I just think it's a really bad. I think it's a really bad thing for kids to see and think that that's okay to do. I know it's probably a little bit deep, but I just think it's a poor way to be a good sport at an event like that when there's a lot of professional, not a professional, but a lot of like corporate tables at the bottom, because they certainly wouldn't have been booing. It would have been, the people in the crowd. In a way it was good because it's like, well, this is what actually people really feel. So there was a bit of that to go, you know what, they're not 100% happy with whatever the FIA are doing at the moment, whether it's to do with the swearing or whatever else is going on. And they're certainly displeased with what, I think it was more directed at Christian, not Red Bull Racing. So
I would agree.
It was only him
I'd
on
agree
stage
too.
at that time, so it wasn't anyone else. So he's clearly had some backlash on that, which he would have had that anyway all of last year through, probably plenty of Facebook posts or commentary or whatever. He would have had a whole gamut of negative press, as would have, the FIA. Maybe a apt summary. The booing was subtly.
Yeah, but
wasn't-
you don't, I don't want to see everyone walk out on stage in grey suits and talk the same and look the same. Like, there's got to be stories.
Yeah.
There's got to be some heroes and villains. And, the Drive to Survive
definitely.
on Netflix does a great job of telling the story of F1. F1 itself is very staid and doesn't want swearing and wants everything down the line. And they need to find that balance. It doesn't need to be WWE, but it needs to have some personality in it. So if the odd person gets a bit of a boo or is unliked by some of the crowd, then I think, all right, great, let's go.
Especially
If it's
they're
too cut and
trying
dry,
to
you're going to
increase
lose a lot
their
of
audience.
supporters.
Yeah, if it's too cut and dry, you'll lose people for sure.
It'll just be a rich person's sport that the everyday person can't get involved in. That's where a lot, when it was like when Ricardo was running around doing shenanigans, everyone loved it. They're like, oh, he's down to earth and he's just a larrikin having fun.
Yeah, big personality. That's what the sport needs, yeah.
Well, and to your point, Dan, this is where being a rich person's sport, with there's no accessibility. That was the Bernie Ecclestone days. I mean, that's what F1 was. That it was that elitist sport. Liberty Media has opened it up to the masses, and it's become a lot more accessible, a lot more enjoyable, and it's creating a lot more theatre around it. So, with events like this, with the introduction of Las Vegas, it's really starting to create a more accessible sport for the common sports fan.
Yeah, it's
If
definitely
you look
great
at that
sport.
and the way that is with that Drive to Survive, if you look back in the days when we were watching it with Schumacher and all that, he was like this trophy figure, very much cut off. It's Michael Schumacher, and it's all hail the king. Whereas you look at Drive to Survive now, it's opened up so you can actually meet the drivers' personalities, you can invest in them and actually take a completely different look at the way that they actually are off the racing track, as it were. And they're not robots. They actually have a personality and they have opinions, and they don't necessarily all get along with each other, but that shows another side of it. And then that brings the common man into the sport more because they can actually appreciate and get behind it.
Yeah, we have social media. Bottas has got a great sense of humour and he's funny and he does cool stuff. And Ricardo's out there doing things. These guys are active on social media. And back when we were, kids, you were lucky if you saw the Formula One on telly. Sometimes you'd have to bloody rent a tape from a Blockbuster or something to watch Formula One. Like, it just wasn't accessible because the internet wasn't around, nothing like that. So, we really get to see a lot more of drivers these days, which is good.
Yeah, this is what the drivers do in the off season, and these are the everyday cars they drive when they come to a racetrack. It's really down to earth.
Yeah. Well, Honda S2000, go Yuki.
All right. So as we wrap that up, would you want to see this again? And if so, when?
Sure. Start of every season, just like they did. Is that the obvious answer?
I wonder whether the teams sort of sit there and go, look, instead of us doing our own reveals and doing a whole lot of, because we're going to do the effort and the production value that we do to our own reveals, maybe not doing, Red Bull kind of presentation, but again, if we can do it all together, do it all the same night and knock it over in one go rather than, maybe it is done again. I don't know how they make it different next year, because if you do the same thing next year, it'll be like, it's just the same again. Because I think the reveal of the cars on its own in the livery probably wasn't enough to carry the night. I think it needed the extra bits and pieces. I mean, the videos that the teams did, that was interesting because they were all different. And next time they're going to go, we'll do something different and copy, and they might, do something different.
At that point, then, would they have more driver involvement for that to show off that side
I
of
would
the team
hope
as
so.
well? Or
Yeah, I'd hope they do more with the drivers. That would be good. And next year will be different anyway because you've got new regulations, new cars. They'll be different length, width, shape. So that will be, new teams. That will be a lot more interesting next year. But it depends on whether they roll out their car for testing or they roll out some other mule that they've slapped together with some temporary wings on it. So I know the diehard fans will be looking at the actual technical car that gets rolled out. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do.
And I think that's the thing is what they would have to do is the timing would have to be a lot tighter. So as you've got testing, you'd almost have to have this launch just before it to be able to show the car with the new regs. I think you're right, is with the new regulations coming through, it's a great opportunity to really showcase the new car, the new livery, the new team, do a bit more of a profile on the drivers so that, again, people who aren't familiar with the F1, they can get to know these drivers, they can get to know these teams on a closer level and feel more connected with the sports. And I'd probably think you need to mix it up and do it in different locations. So it doesn't always need to be in the UK in the O2, given that it's Liberty Media, and if there's a buck in it for them, doing it in the US would be another great audience that they could bring that to one of the stadium venues, even doing it in the Middle East,
the Sphere,
somewhere else in Europe.
In the Sphere, yeah.
You could trip around, have one in China, Germany, UK. Like you could actually go from country to country each year, one and get to host it one a year. Could be a good thing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be lovely to see it in Australia, but there's no way it's going to be in the Southern Hemisphere.
No.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Time zone.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and on the other end of this, we're going to talk about the Constructors Championship predictions and also our 3 bold predictions for 2025. Back with you in just a few moments. And welcome back to the Downshift as we're reviewing Formula One as we're waiting for the start of the season, which kicks off in Melbourne on the 16th March, or that weekend. Moving forward, we're going to talk about our Constructors Championship predictions, and so who we think are going to come out at the tail end of the field and who's going to take out the championship for the year. So we'll go 10-1. Nathan, we'll throw over to you to start off with your predictions for the Constructors.
Sure. I have rolled the dice and I've come up with my 10-1. So starting with 10th place, I think will be Sauber. I think they're going to have a bit of a poor season. That's just my prediction. I think Lachlan might be on the same path as me here, but we'll see what he says shortly.
Close, yep.
Followed by Haas in 9. I think they're going to struggle a bit. It's just my guess. Racing Bulls in 8th. Alpine in 7th. And I think Williams are going to pip Alpine this year and get to 6th place. But the bottom 5 are hard to pick. We'll see what happens. My top 5, moving on to the top end of town here. I think in 5th place we will see Aston Martin. I think 4th place will be Mercedes. Now the top three are interesting. I think 3rd will be Red Bull. 2nd will be McLaren, and I think Ferrari will take out the championship this year. I think we'll get to my bold predictions, but I think McLaren and Red Bull will be very close in 2nd and 3rd.
Nice.
Comments? No? You think it's nice?
Well,
Positive.
I agree on a few of them.
I've only got one big difference on you, Nate. The rest of them are relatively similar.
Yeah,
I think everyone wants to see HP up the top.
HP. Yeah, go HP.
It's the fastest printer on the track.
That'd be a really good investment for him.
Oh, yeah.
Not everyone.
We'll see. I'm sure you guys have got some different ideas on who is going to be top 10, but I'm pretty confident mine are going to come through.
Yeah, I'll look at as I sort of look at the top of the field. Yeah, I've got a couple of different ones to you, but we'll see how we go in regards to that. Dan, what are your thoughts in regards to?
Yeah, look, I'd agree with Nathan, but then we'd both be wrong. So, Kick Sauber are going to hold the ladder up. Haas is going to come second last. Williams third last. Racing Bulls, Honda, Cash Point, Team,
Visa Cash App.
Jig,
Yeah.
Racing Bull, Cash
Whoever's
Up are
giving
gonna
us
be
money this week.
I like
Sevens.
Honda Cash Point. That's good.
the Cash Point. Can you get money out of the car? Is there a slot where you can get money out?
It falls
You
back.
put a lot into it. I'm not sure you get much back out of it.
Depends on how many accidents they have. Yeah.
It's just blowing in the wind. Aston Martin are going to come 6th. And that rounds out my bottom 5.
Right.
At 5th would be Alpine, Mercedes at 4th, Ferrari 3rd, Red Bull 2nd, and McLaren are going to take it out yet again.
Ferrari in 3rd.
I think the top 3 are going to be the top 3. I'd be surprised if any of us pick. Actually, no. Christian will probably pick someone different. But I think the top 3, the other 3 of us, Lachlan and Daniel, will pick Red Bull,
The sensible
Ferrari,
ones.
and McLaren. That's correct.
See, it'd be boring if we all agree.
I don't care about boring. I just want to be right.
Let's just say, most of us are going to get it right.
That's exactly right.
But I think you're right, is when we talk about the top
No, I'm right.
three or 4, it is going to be so close. I think this season, there is a level of parity that we're going to see that it could go in either way. So it's really
So
going to come
based
down.
on that, on Nathan's prediction from one round of supercars, so if we have one team that dominates the first Melbourne, are you just going to call it on the first rain now? Nathan,
Put it on
or we're
the
gonna have a couple of
board. If someone qualifies on pole, gets fastest lap and wins by 30 seconds, they will probably take out the championship.
Okay.
There we go.
Christian, write that down.
Well, that's his
like-
number one bold prediction. So
We'll get to
But
those
like
in a
last
minute.
year, from 4 down, they're not even close.
No, there's a big gap. So
That's huge.
like as far as overall team points, yes, there was a big gap.
So for some of those teams to turn it around and pick up, I'm looking at it now, it was like 100 points or something. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how big your logo is.
That's why I think most people will pick the same bottom 5 and the same top 5. They'll just be jumbled around a bit, I imagine.
That's how I worked it out.
Well, why don't we strap in then? Because I'm going to give my predictions, and so obviously this is going to be right.
I think we should save yours till last because yours are going to be the most. I'm just guessing they're
Wrong.
going to be the most controversial. I think we should hear Lachlan's first. And
Okay.
then I think you should go
Controversial
last, Christian.
Or
Yeah?
wrong.
Okay, no, well, I'll throw
I
mine
didn't
into
say
the mix
right
then.
or wrong. I just said controversial. We'll see.
Or comedic. I mean, again, we're trying to create engaging content.
I think 9 and 10, we're all in agreement. So I've got Haas at 10 and Sauber at 9, so we're
Yep.
doing that one. This is where I sort of step outside, though. I personally feel that there's a certain team that is really waiting for the next season, given the engineer and all that they've just pulled on. So I've put Aston Martin down at 8 because I don't think they're going to have a care factor on this season. They are putting everything into next season. I've got Alpine in 7, followed by Williams in 6. I've then got Racing Bulls in 5, the
Wow.
Mercedes in at 4,
They're racing balls.
Red Bull at 3,
Good choice.
HP in at 2, and the Papayas come in at number 1 for me.
Okay. Interesting. As expected. I don't mind that.
That's a big move, though, for Racing Bulls. They finished 8th last year, and so you've got them at 5th.
Yep. Well, I think that some of the teams are going to be really focused on next season, and I think you'll find that the upgrades and that to the cars, I just don't think they're going to put as much into this season as they will for the following one. And that's my prediction. So there we go.
I kind of think you're right with
Okay.
Aston Martin. I think Lawrence is just going to go, you know what, I've got so much money, it doesn't matter. I don't care about winning races and getting sponsorship money. They'll stick around. They know what's coming. And so any good sponsors, he's going to be talking to them going, don't worry about this year. You give me a commitment for 3 or 4 years and you'll see it out. It'll be worth your
We'll
while.
deliver.
I think it would be an outstanding performance if Tsunoda and a rookie Hadjar can make it to 5th in the championship. So good luck. We'll see what happens. I would love to see it. Like, oh my God, I'd love to see big stuff like that. That would be really good.
It would
Couple
be
of quick
amazing.
wheel
And
taps,
I'd
spin
love it
around.
for Yuki.
Yeah. Donuts in the S2000 at the end of the championship. Yep.
Actually, that's what he's racing.
Look, the VTEC engine does rev quite out nicely, so it's all good.
All right,
here's the drum roll. Let's go.
All
right.
right, let's go. Here we go.
Now we're going to get
KT, bring it home.
the actual results.
the actual
All right.
results. So
Yep.
make sure
Call
Cam
everyone's
Waters
Call
is
listening.
your
first
bookie
spot.
now, folks. Call your bookie now. Ready?
Pencils out.
Let me open the
Get 'em on
sports
the
bet app.
phone.
Hold on.
So I'm in agreement with Nathan and Dan that I've got Kick Saber coming in 10th position.
Okay.
Followed.
So you're
Yep.
wrong
So
already.
That's not
Okay.
very.
Yep.
That's not very controversial so far. Keep going.
No, I know. Huss coming in at 9th. So again, in agreement with you there. In 8th position, I'm in agreement with Lachlan, with Aston Martin coming in at 8th. So
we're both
again,
wrong.
but again,
No,
I
I
think
don't think Fernando or Stroll would be very happy with that one. Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
happy he's got
Stroll.
to drive.
Coming in at 7th, I've got Racing Bulls. So they're going to move up one from last year. Followed
The
by
Visa
Alpine.
Cash App Racing Ball.
Yes, cash grab.
Just checking.
It's your Visa cash grab back, Dan.
Cash Point Honda. Yep.
Followed by Alpine in 6th.
No, so the bottom 5, there's no real surprises here. We think.
No real surprises. No.
Okay.
All right.
Prepare to be shocked, everyone. Here we go.
Let's strap in.
So in 5th position, I've got Williams.
Whoa. Yep.
So that's a 4 position gain for Williams. I think
Strong game.
They're going to do all right this year.
They will. They've got
Once
a
they've moved
really
away
good
from
driver pairing.
and they've moved away from spreadsheets for their parts ordering, they're
look
good.
as much as there's only one driver on the socials at this stage. I don't know who Carlos Sainz is meant to be driving with, but Alex has got zero airtime in regards to the socials. But yeah, I think it's a really strong driver pairing. I think Carlos is going to bring a really good quality to the team. I think James Bowles is creating a good culture within the team, and they've got the right trajectory that they're taking. So
Yeah,
I think,
they've done good things.
Yep. In 4th position, I've got Red Bull.
Well, okay.
I think looking in regards to the end of the season, they were really missing it in regards to the car. You'll have to wait for my bold predictions, but I've got a bold prediction on Max, and that's going to have an impact on Red Bull. In 3rd, I've got Mercedes. In 2nd, I have McLaren.
All right.
And then in 1st, I have HP.
Right. Let's hope they don't run out of toner halfway through the season. I'm surprised you put Red Bull at 4th. That is a big call. I thought I was being a bit risky putting him in 3rd, but yeah, 4th is interesting.
Yeah, look, I from that perspective I think with Newey going, with the troubles they had with the end of the car at the end of the year, with Max's frustration, it's a distracting year for them. I think they're going to be really focusing on 2026, having to get that car right with a different team looking at it. So
I agree with that. I think Red Bull's looking for 26.
Well, they all are.
Yep, absolutely. And I think, one of the dark horses to watch is Aston Martin. Aston Martin, I think 2026 is going to be one which could do extremely well.
Well,
And HP is going to bring in some reliability issues.
Aston Martin will want to do well. If you picked them as 8th place this year, they're going to have to massively turn it around for next year.
Well, even if they get to 5th, it's a much better improvement from 8th, isn't it? So there you go.
Yes. All
Set a
right.
low base. Alrighty, so from the Constructors Championship, we will be reviewing this at the end of the year to see how well we have gone. Looking in regards
I
to...
may be busy for that episode, just to let you know.
Yeah, you better
looking in
subscribe to get to that episode. Make sure you don't miss it.
Oh, very important. All right, so looking at our bold predictions for 2025. So we've asked the team to go away, think about what could actually happen in 2025, apart from just the usual pedestrian run-of-the-mill F1 drama, and what that could look like. And we'll, as a team, give a thumbs up or thumbs down in regards to what we think of the prediction. And at the end of the year, we'll go back and review this. And for those that where we've had 3 thumbs down, and if that's correct, you're going to get some big points. If you've got 3 thumbs up, then just a point towards that before the end of the year as we try and have a
So
little bit
what's
of
the prize
competition.
exactly?
It's
You get a free
Breakfast at
subscription
Christian's
to this podcast.
it's a breakfast with no yolk eggs.
Egg white omelette.
All right.
Nice. I can't wait.
Alrighty,
And 2
Dan, we're gonna
sausages.
and 2 sausages. That's right. So, Dan, we'll start with you. So, what are your 3 bold predictions
Very good.
for
All right.
2025?
Okay, so mine are very much driver related. I don't think I know enough about to go any further than that. So let's start from the bottom, hey? It doesn't matter, there's no order. So my first prediction is Lewis is going to win. He's going to take out the Drivers' Championship this year. And that's not what I predicted last week, but based on that little snippet of Ferrari gossip about the speed and that aero kit, I think there's something there. Saints will come second because Atlassian's going to help there. They'll probably hack the system and rig the points. I think that might help them there. And I think I might be stealing Christian's thunder here, possibly. And there's been a little bit of chatter about it, which you never can read too much into. Although what they do say, where there's smoke, there's fire. Verstappen will go to Aston Martin partway through the season, which will then result in Red Bull's championship hopes being upset in that respect, even though, well, no, it will, because Aston Martin will then be getting the points, but they won't be doing that well.
So are you saying Max is going to announce that he's leaving halfway through the year, or is he going to actually leave Red Bull halfway through the year?
He will move partway through the season. Third quarter.
Bold.
Fourth quarter.
That's bold. We did ask for bold.
Well, you want bold?
I don't know if bold is quite the right word for that, but we'll go with that.
Go hard or go home. Bold, or we just
go bold.
Under bold.
Go bold. That's massive.
That backs up
massive bold.
That backs up the Red Bull being in fourth, what Christian predicted. So that's my three.
Okay. So, all right. So, thumbs up or thumbs down. So the first one was Hamilton. So this does
to win.
It's whether or not we think it's possible. So, yep. So, all right, for Hamilton to possibly win, could be a thumbs up for me.
It's possible. Yes,
it's possible. Okay.
Well, it's no point me voting, right?
No.
No. And your second bold prediction was
Carlos Sainz
to come in. Carlos Sainz to come second.
That's a massive thumbs down. I'm sorry, mate. That's it.
That's worth 3 points to if you get that right.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Radio. Right. Okay.
And the third one was for Max to leave mid-season.
I could taste those egg whites already.
We'll see. If that comes through, mate, I would be very impressed. That's a good.
You watch.
Good one.
Lawrence will throw lots and lots of money at this.
No, rumor is he already has. We'll see.
Yep. All right.
He'll find more.
All right, so I'm going to follow you, Dan, in chasing the points. So my first bold prediction is Max will lose his license before Silverstone.
Really?
Lose his license? Can we just? What do you mean there?
I mean, he'll get suspended.
Not for speeding, Dan. It's okay.
So his regular license. This has no impact on his driving. Okay.
His points in the championship and also Red Bull's.
Question for the kids playing at home: if he loses points, does he then not able to drive?
He can't drive for one race. For one race, and then they reset his license.
And do your points reset after one race? You've got 12 points, one race out, then you get back to 12 points again.
Correct. So that happened to Kevin Magnussen last year, and so he actually had to sit out for a race, and then was back in. All right. My second prediction is for Aston Martin, that Lance Stroll will leave F1 and Max Verstappen will announce that he's joining Aston Martin for 2026.
Is that
that's really two,
one prediction roll?
Yeah, I mean, Lance leaving Formula One, that's not bold.
Well, yeah. So let's take it Max's.
My prediction is going to come out differently now. Then.
Well, we'd all sort of go, yeah, it's about time.
Okay. And my third, and this is my third big bold prediction, is that Haas will announce that they are pulling out of Formula One, and they will sell out to Toyota Gazoo Racing.
Bold. Not going to lie, that's actually one of my predictions. So thanks.
All right. So thumbs up, thumbs down. So Max losing his license before Silverstone.
No, I don't think it's going to happen.
Not before
Yeah, nah.
Silverstone.
Okay, that's 3 points. Good.
You got the thumbs there.
I know, got fancy
Oh,
effects
you're
going
getting
on.
thumbs. That's
It's
fantastic.
thumb on your
Yeah.
screen. Wow.
All right. So the Aston Martin one, whichever way we want to look at it, is Lance leaving F1, but Max coming in as his replacement for 2026.
2026. I think that could maybe happen.
Yeah, I'm a possibility of a yes on that. So
Yeah, I've
come on,
got to
Dan, cancel
agree
the
because
fence.
I've sort of
Okay,
predicted it too.
three
But it's
thumbs
gonna.
up. Right.
I was trying to
All
think
right, and the
tactically
third
about
one-
whether that makes less points.
And the third one, Haas pulling out of F1 and selling out to a Toyota Gazoo.
Yeah, because that's one of my predictions. So yes.
No, don't think so.
Yeah, no, not doing that.
All good. All right. Well, seeing that I've stolen one of your predictions, Lockie, we'll go over to you for your three bolds. We obviously know one.
Well, obviously
What two?
we've just heard one of.
It's got,
Thanks, KT.
got nothing left.
I went down a slightly different path with my other ones, though. I was going to go Lance Stroll to get through the season without having a crash.
All
That
right.
was going to be one of my bold predictions.
Okay.
And the other one was I was going to go Yuki Tsunoda to get to the halfway point without blowing up on the radio and having a serious crack at someone else as he's going around. I thought I'd take a different approach on that one. So, yeah. And obviously, I think Toyota will come in and buy the other outfit. I think they're out. So if there's rumours floating around, it's already on the market and up for sale.
Okay. So for the first prediction, which was
Lance Stroll to get through the season without
Was it
having a
realistic?
crash. Could be up for a couple of points here. That'd be
Yeah,
all right.
I think so.
Yeah,
Go Dan.
why not?
Oh, it is the what? There we go.
I'm thinking
You
just
I
take
could
the
also be out
percentages, aren't you?
the first
Yeah,
round on
I'm
that
trying
one.
to do the percentages.
Yuki
I can't
Tsunoda
have
to
all
get
the
through
points.
halfway of the season without blowing up on the radio and blaming everyone else. So
I
said half.
don't think it's capable
Without
for you
half.
to do
Well,
that.
We won't hear it anyway. So
We
that
won't hear it.
means
That's
that-
it. FIA's got
yeah,
to sanitize
we
it. We're
won't
not
hear
gonna
it, which means that
then obviously I'm correct.
could
No,
happen,
I
but
see
we
your
won't
point.
hear it. So it won't happen.
and he'll be fined €40,000 and a race ban and public apologies.
And I'm with KT. I think Toyota's going to come in and buy themselves a racing seat.
Oh, there's
Nah,
thinking
not
going
happening.
on.
They won't buy it. Someone else might, but they won't.
And happy?
I don't think
Alright.
so.
It'd be interesting to see, but it won't happen.
Alrighty. So from those
I'd
bold
like to see
predictions, Toyota coming back into F1 would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be good. It would be good.
We're going to see them back in V8s. So and then NASCAR as well for next year. Yeah, a big investment or increased investment in
The V8s,
NASCAR.
the
as
V8s I
well.
like because the car looks really good. But in Formula One, it's just going to be another Formula One car with some different wings or
We'll
air
see.
ducts.
All right. So finally over to you, Happy, or was it ChatGPT?
Okay, so I had a short think about this. My bold predictions. My first one is that one of the rookies in 2025 will win a race. That could be Behrman, Hadjar, Jack Doohan, Bortoletto, or Kimi Antonelli. I'm not counting Liam Lawson as a rookie. Just say I reckon one of them could end up winning a race. The other one is I think that the Constructors Championship will go down to the last race of the season between Ferrari and McLaren. That'll be the deciding race. And my other prediction is that Lewis Hamilton will win more races than Charles Leclerc this year. I don't know how bold that one is, but he's the incumbent he's not the incumbent in the team. They're favouring Charles, but I reckon Lewis will race better and will win more races than Charles.
Well, apparently he's 0.4 faster.
Well, the car is 4/10 faster. So
what
they
if
are my prediction.
All
But
right.
what if they pick up the wrong keys when they go to the car?
He hops into the Mercedes.
His names are written on it, so it's a bit easier that way.
Okay.
All right. So, okay. So for one of the rookies winning a race for 2025,
That'll happen. It always
Two
does.
ups. Hey, there we
two
go.
ups. There you go.
There's
Let's
a
point
chance
safe.
it could rain. You never know what could happen. No. All right.
All right. No. The second.
The Constructors Championship will go down to the last race of the year. It'll be tight.
It'll
No.
be decided well before then.
Really? Wow. I thought you'd all
Oh, there
agree
you
with that
go.
one.
So it was bold.
You're not getting those points for free. to buy your own egg white
finally,
omelette.
winning more races than Charles for 2025.
No. Oh, wow. I hope that comes true. I really do.
Chat GTP did
Yeah,
not
I
help
do
you
too.
on that one.
Like
I really do.
Excellent. All right, team. Well, look, from some pretty bold predictions, as I said, we're going to review these at the end of the year. There's a no yolk omelette on the table for the winners. So, obviously we've got big prizes on the downshift.
I'd
the
love
other
to hear
day,
what our listeners
that
and
egg
our
yolk
viewers
was nearly
think.
in your face.
So
I'd love to hear what our listeners and our viewers think their bold prediction would be, because we've made a couple of big bold ones, but I'm sure other people have got some funny ideas as well.
And comment
So
just
that's-
how badly you think we're going to go for these ones as well.
So, look, we encourage all our listeners to, in the comments on YouTube or through Spotify, even as we start to do our socials, we're really excited to hear what your thoughts are. But put a comment down the bottom. We'll share those on an upcoming podcast so that other people can hear your thoughts. Tell us what you think of ours, and we'll be interested to see what happens for the rest of the season. So, finishing up for this podcast, any last thoughts? Anything happening on the weekend, team?
I think we're heading to a quiet weekend this one, so it might be a nice and easy, relaxing one.
Might be not so hot.
Yeah, quiet weekend, and then in a couple of weeks off to the Race of Champions in Sydney, which will be good.
Yeah, so Happy and I will be up in Sydney for the Race of Champions. Looking forward to being able to share with everyone some thoughts on that, maybe even a little bit of video from the one of the nights. So, we'll be able to share that with everyone there as well. So, from all of us here at the Downshift, I've been KT.
I've been Lockie.
I've been Schwags.
Oh, that was so smooth, and I'm happy. Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you
We'll
on
work
the
on
next
that.
one.
We'll just wing
Cheers.
it. Bye.
Bye, team. That's the checkered flag for this episode of The Downshift. Thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us in the paddock. If you enjoyed the ride, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a lap. And hey, if we've earned it, drop us a 5-star review. It really helps us climb the grid and reach more motorsport fans. Want to take it to the next level? Join the Downshift Pit Crew by supporting us through Patreon. You'll get exclusive content and help fuel the show to keep us pushing flat out every week. Until next time, keep it fast, keep it fun, and we'll catch you on the next lap.